Hey, good evening, everyone. It's an absolute pleasure to welcome you all to TechZeed's Season 3, Episode 1, proudly organized by the Software Engineering Students Association of the University of Kelaniya. Today marks the start of an exciting journey, a space where ideas grow, minds connect, and the seeds of innovation begin to bloom. In this very first episode of Season 3, we will explore a topic that's very relevant to every tech student: software engineering career paths. This session is designed to give us a clearer view of the many opportunities waiting beyond the classroom, from development and design to testing, analysis, and leadership. So sit back, stay curious, and get ready to be inspired. To officially begin our session, I would like to hand over things over to my batchmate, Janushan, a third-year software engineering undergraduate from the University of Kelaniya. He will take us through the presentation and guide us into today's topic. Over to you, Janushan.
Thanks, Parami. I am glad to meet you for our first mentorship episode in Season 3. First, let me introduce myself. My name is Janusan, and I am currently working as a software engineering intern at Cognitics. Today, I will be presenting some basics idea about the software engineering field. I understand you already learned some fundamental concepts in your first semester, so I will not spend time on that. Imansa will also be covering that part. So instead, I will explain that within the software engineering fields, one of the most important role is the developer. This role can be divided into the three main areas: front-end, back-end, and if a developer knows both, they are called as a full-stack developer. So first, I will discuss some basic idea about the front-end developer, and then I will explain the other areas. So guys, imagine a restaurant. When you walk in, what do you see and experience in a restaurant? You see the dining room, the lightings, the comfortable chairs. You are given a menu that's easy to read and navigate, and when your food arrives, it's beautiful plated. All of this, the atmosphere, the interactions, the visual experience is the front end. It's everything the customer directly interacts with you. Now, we have to, what's the software terms in the front end engineer or developer? It's responsible for the turning design into the interactive interfaces, ensuring usability, responsiveness, and performance on the client side. That means it's the page that can be directly interacted with the customer. So, what are the responsibilities for the front-end engineer or developer? So first one is UI UX implementation. What is that? What's the means of UI UX implementation? So converts the UI UX design into the code. Like if the designer gives the UI UX design, so the responsible for the front-end developer, they can be changed into the code. It's HTML, CSS, JavaScript, like using that language or a framework like that. And also the front-end developer is responsible for the responsiveness of the designs. Because if the developer make code into responsiveness in all the devices like web or the mobile or the tab like that. And also ensure the accessibility. So if all the functionality are correctly working or not, it's responsible for the front end engineer. Other than that, second one is client-side logic. What's that mean? If we have to write in the JavaScript or the TypeScript, it handles the UI logics or state managements. Other than that, we have to communicate with the backend, so we have to write the correct logic. This is responsible for the front end engineer. Other than that, performance and optimization. So performance and optimization means we have to reduce the times and reduce the spaces in the front end part, like optimizing the images, fonts, and reducing the reflows, layout tracing, likewise. And next one is cross-browser compatibility and testing. So if the developer make the app, it can be compatible with the different browser like Chrome, Firefox, and Safari. And also they can be writing the UI test, like if the functionality is currently working or not, expected results comes or not, like that. Other than that, tools build deployment. So it's like some advanced for you. So the developer, if the developer can be to deploy the front end, automatically deploy, if the developer can be push the code into the GitHub like systems, it can be automatically deploy. Like the things also responsible for the front end developer. And next one is code quality, maintainability, reusability. If the developer once write a code, it could be easily maintainable for other developers. Once the developer is not available, the another developer comes and easy to use that code and maintainable that code. Like they can be follow some patterns, design system. So these are another responsibility for the front end engineer. Other than that, collaboration and communication. This is the main part for the front-end developer. If the front-end developer doesn't communicate with the designer or the back-end engineer, it could be a trouble for that application. So definitely they can be continuously communicating with the designer and the back-end engineer. Or also participating in the planning and estimation likewise. Other than that, staying updated for the innovation. Like means if in our field continuously updated. So the developer could be responsible for them evaluating the new front-end libraries, frameworks, tools, like that. So we move to the next page. So front-end developer roadmap. This is an important page for you guys. So if anyone like to reach for a front-end developer, they can be definitely follow this roadmap. They can be achieve that goals. So first, if the new undergraduate students start with the basic fundamental like HTML, CSS, JavaScript. So they can be understand the layouts and styles and the DOM concepts other than the basic JavaScript syntax like that. So the first, the student, they can be familiar with the basic things. Once they can be familiar with the things, they can be move on to the intermediate. Like they can be, if they can be learn the CSS, they can be learn with frameworks like SAS, LESS. Other than that, they can be responsive design for all the websites. So they can be definitely learn the media queries, breakpoints. This is include the CSS concept. Other than that, they can be learn some advanced JavaScript. Advanced JavaScript like some important concepts definitely learn for the students. So once they can be learn that concept, it can be definitely helpful for the next frameworks things like that. So they can be learn how JS works under the some punch under the hood. So after that, they can be learn the frameworks in React, Vue, Angular, like that things. But don't learn everything. They can be pick one framework and master it. Once to master in one framework, it could be definitely help for the other frameworks also. So once they can be familiar with the frameworks, they can be moved into some advanced level concept in the frameworks. Just state management like Redux, Index, and also sustains likewise things. So it can be helpful for them how to manage the states across the component within a particular time. Because our application take long time, it's definitely not satisfied for the users. So they can be learn these things. It can be helpful for the optimizing the times. So and also they can be learn TypeScript. It could be now tending. So because it could be helpful for them, reduce them errors in the application. So they can be definitely type screens. Once they can be learn the TypeScript things, after they can be do one project related these things. Once they can be do one project and familiar with these things and go to the testing parts. Testing part means some automation testing tools. It could be helpful for us. So once they can be familiar with these testing tools, they can be write the unit and integration testing. So unit and integration testing is responsible for the developer, not the tester. So they can be familiar with it. After that, they can be learn the accessibility. Accessibility means if the screen readers or art or any supports pupils, they can be used the website. It can be easy for us, easy for them. So that is responsible for the front-end developer. So they can be learn that things also. Other than that, some advanced topics like DevOps for the front end. That means they can be write the code and push into the GitHub. Once they can be pushing the GitHub, it can be easy to deploy. So these things also learn for the front-end developer. So these are the some basics idea of the front-end developer. So now we can move into the backend developer. So we already tell we have take some real world example for the restaurant, right? So we have already tell like the comfortable chairs and the menu IDs and all beautifully plated in the to the customer. So other than that, now what's happening behind this swinging doors in the kitchen sides? Chefs are following the recipes to prepare your meal. They manage the inventory in the pantry and fridge. So they are responsible for the quality, safety, and timely preparation of the foods. So the entire guidance in the operation is the backend. So I mentioned in the slide, the backend developer builds and maintains the servers, database, and application logic that power the front end. That means if the front end like user interact the page, if the front end developer, if the client can be click one button. So what functionality trigger in the backend side? If the backend side is something lately for home or the something not quality, write the code, it could be the delay and then performance is disturbed for the application. So definitely backend developer is an important role for them in the software, in the developer field. But many guys are, but these developer cannot be directly interact with the customers. So what are the, we have take next one. So what are the responsibility for the backend developer? The first one is building and maintaining the server. So server means they can be we have to write the front end application. So they set up the powerful computers. That is called server. That host the application and ensure they are always running and available. The next thing is business logic. This is the core recipe of the application. For example, when you take the Amazon, we have to click the add to cart. So the backend logic calculates the total, check stocks, and applies any discount. This is the backend responsibility. So it's responsibility for the backend developer. Next one is data management. They design and managing the database. So this database is massive because in Amazon we have take the database could be massive. It could be stored product details and user data and everything. So this is it handled for the backend developer. Next one is security, performance, and scalability. So if taking any application, security is the main thing. Other than that, the client is not satisfied that application cannot be used. So it could be the bit lost for the government. So we definitely the security handling from the backend, though this is responsible for the backend developer. So other than that, we have taken the API developer. So what is API? API means we have to communicate between the front end and backend. The API could be play that role. So the backend developer set up the rules of the invoice that the front end can call to get the data or perform the action through that API. So this API development is responsible for the backend development. So we can go to the next slide. So backend developer roadmap. So if anyone like to be for the backend developer, So they can be supposed to understand the fundamental things. Fundamental things means if you can't build these fundamental things, you cannot be come to the backend developer. So you can post learn the HTTP and RESTful APIs. So what is that? So this is the language of the web. HTTP is the protocol that allows your browser to talk to the server. RESTful APIs are the setup tools for the building those conversation. So as a backend developer, you will spend a huge amount of your time designing and building these APIs so that frontend can communicate with your server. So second one is web frameworks. So what is frameworks? The frameworks can be for the, so we not build everything from the scratch, because we have to build everything from the scratch. It can be take much time. So these frameworks can be helpful for us. So frameworks like, if you don't know what I tell, so Express.js, Django, Spring Boot, like that. So these frameworks are like, we cannot be write the code from the scratch. It can be helpful. We have to only write what is the main logic of the code. So it can be reduce our time, and we have to not time spend for the reduce the same. We have not time spent for the same words. So once you learn in the web framework, so these are the main fundamental concepts. Once you learn that, you can move on to the version control system. What is the version control system? So primarily this means a Git. Git is the time machine for your code. It allows you to save the different version for your code. So you sometimes you cannot be handle all the code in your computer. So that time it can be helpful for the Git. You can push your code and you can take it in another time. So if you are not using the Git, you are not ready for this backend development environment. Once you learn in the version control system, you can move on to the databases. Databases means, I think you have now learning the SQL, some SQL subjects in this semester. So it is a main role in the database. So database means your data lives. You need to understand the two main databases like SQL, NoSQL database. So now you learn the SQL database like PostgreSQL, MySQL. So these type of the SQL database would be helpful for the structured data with the complex latencies. So NoSQL database means this can be more flexible for the certain types of the data. So choosing the right one and knowing how to interact with it additionally is for the backend skill. So next one, we have to move on to the authentication and authorization. Authentication and authorization means it's one of the security things. Authentication means if you are logging the Facebook, so definitely they can be first ask username and password. So who you are, that means authentication. So once you log in, you can be several roles in the Facebook. The Facebook can be also admin, users, and operational manager, like those things. So authorization means what they are allowed to do your roles. If you cannot be access the admin role accesses. So that means authorization. Other than that, other things could be like advanced topic like caching. Caching means imagine a busy library where every time someone asks for the popular book, the librarian has to go all the way to the basement to get it. So it's like the zero process. Caching is like putting the popular book on a shelf right behind the counter for quick access. It's a technique to store frequently accessing the data in a fast manner. Temporary location, because if the librarian cannot be go to every time for the basement. So that is for caching. So it can be improves to application speed and performance. Next one, testing. Testing means Is that important? Because we have to, without testing of your application, it can be several issues. So it can be reduce the customer satisfaction for your application. So testing is a important thing for building the reliable and professional softwares. Next, we go to the some more advanced topics, containerization and containerization. So that means, so this containerization, we have to use several tools like Docker and Kubernetes. So I cannot be explain that much things in this episode. So next one is CI/CD pipelines. CI/CD pipelines means every time the developer push the code and manually deploy this takes time. So these CI/CD pipelines that can be helpful for us. Once we have to push the code into the GitHub, it can be automatically deploy our application. After that, monitoring and logging. That means if your application continuously running in the production environment means if the real user that can be used for your application, there can be sometimes some issues are coming. So that time it could be helping for you. So you can learn the monitoring and logging concepts. Other than that, you have some basics idea for the cloud service. So we have the one vendor for the cloud deployment. So they can be tell that things. So you can learn some basics idea. It's cloud services would be helpful for the backend developer. So these are the skills definitely need for the backend developer, but don't need for all things at once after you apply the work is not possible. So you can learn all the fundamental things very clear manner. After that, you can apply some things in your projects. So you can learn that things. Other than that, if you take the full stack developer, they can be learn both things, front end and back end skills. So nowadays, many companies hire the full stack developer. So, but you have to write to popular in one skills post. After that, you can learn other things. You cannot be learn the parallelly two things. It could not be possible. So I have to hand over this presentation to the Imad sir to continue to do that.
Let's move on to the next part. I'll be talking about a topic that often creates confusion, the difference between software engineer and software developer. These two titles are frequently used interchangeably, but depending on company, country, or even the team culture, their responsibility can slightly differ. So let's take a closer look at what sets them apart. Okay. Let's start with software developer. A developer typically focuses on building specific components or features within a large system. Their work is usually at the modular feature level. Meaning they take requirements, write code, and handle debugging or testing of parts assigned to them. Developer mainly deal with the functionality and code, ensuring their piece of puzzle or correctly. Now, on the other hand, software engineer works at a broader level, the system or product level. They design complete system and architectures, plan how different modules connect, and make sure the whole product functions work smoothly. Their work spans the entire life cycle from designing to deployment and ongoing maintenance. You guys can learn these things in course modules in our degree program, what are the software development life cycles and how we going on these things. And other thing is, engineers also think about scalability, performance, reliability, security, especially in large or complex systems. In simple terms, you can think of developer as a builder of the house, while engineers are the architects who design the structure and make sure everything stands strong. let's see skills a software engineer should have. So what skill does software engineer need to success? We can divide them into two main categories. Those are technical or hard skills and software interpersonal skills. On the technical side, engineers need strong programming skills, a solid understanding of algorithms, data structures, and system design. You guys, these things learn from this mentorship program in future. So engineers also need knowledge of databases, networking, version control systems, and cloud platforms depending on the project. But technical skills alone are not enough for software engineering field or any other kind of job field. Soft skills are equally important, like problem solving, teamwork, communication, and time management. Engineers often collaborate across teams, so being able to explain ideas clearly and think critically makes a huge differences. In short, a great engineer is not only good coder, but also good collaborator. Uh, and now I move to the important topic. I know you guys are very curious about this. Uh, according to the I got this details from Glassdoor. According to the Glassdoor, here's an approximate breakdown of salaries in Sri Lanka. First, you guys can see in terms of the engineer salary, like 30,000. I want to say these are rough enough and very widely by company experience, location, remote versus local, and other benefits. These things are depend on the company. We cannot say exactly every companies use these salary ranges. And then associates of 10 years LKR 120,000 and software engineer like about 230,000. Likewise, these salary ranges we can see in Sri Lankan industry, but and again I want to say these things can be depend on the company and culture. You work in environment like remote or local, and other benefits. Some companies salaries can be low, but their benefits are high. Sometimes there can be so many changes in these salary ranges. I think you guys have good understand about software development and software engineering field. If you guys have any question, now guys can ask, or you guys can ask. Next, I invite Ishara to continue this session with the mobile developer.
Okay, thank you, Mansha. Good evening, everyone, and thank you all for being here today. So today I am going to talk about one of the career paths we can choose in our degree program, which is mobile application development. So in this presentation, I'm going to do a brief introduction to mobile applications development. So before moving forward, let me introduce myself. I'm Mr. Danushan, and currently I'm working as a engineer intern as a in Byte Spark Labs. So let's go to the next slide. Okay, so these are the topics that we are going to cover today, and I hope these topics will give you a better understanding of mobile development and give you a clear idea of what to focus on if you're considering mobile development as your career path. So, okay, so let's go to the next slide. So, what is mobile app development? So, essentially, mobile application development is basically the process of creating software applications that run on our mobile UXs. So nowadays we all have mobile UXs in our with us. So we go. So everywhere we go, we have our mobile UX with us. So building mobile applications is a very growing industry in today's IT world. So when it comes to development, we have main two platforms, Android and iOS. So and both of them have slightly different ecosystems and development tools. And we have three types of apps: native, cross-platform, and web-based apps. So native apps are built built specifically for one platform. So, for example, we use native. We can develop native Android apps using Kotlin, and we can develop native iOS apps using Swift. Then we have cross-platform apps that that can be used to run on both Android and iOS using a single code base. And for that, we use frameworks like Flutter and React Native. Then we have web-based apps which work inside the web browser but feel like mobile app. So, in simple terms, mobile app development is about transforming ideas into interactive experiences that people can use right from their phones. So the next so types of mobile developers. So depending on the platform and tools, mobile developers usually fall into three main categories. So the first one is Android developers. Android developers focus on building apps for Android devices using languages like Java and Kotlin. So in today we mostly use Kotlin as the default programming language for uh, Android native development, and we use a Jetpack library component to make the development of the UIs easier. So that is Churia. Jetpack is a UI library that makes development easier. In the early times, we used a lot of XML and layout components using Java to build the mobile applications. And they follow Google's design guidelines to create apps that run smoothly, and we use Android Studio to develop Android apps. Then we have iOS developers. iOS developers build apps for Apple devices using Swift programming language, and they use Xcode and follow Apple's interface guidelines to ensure they are optimized for iPhones and iPads. Next, we have cross-platform developers. They use frameworks like Flutter and React Native to create apps that work on both Android and iOS from a single code base. So nowadays, this cross-platform approach is very popular among a lot of companies because it saves a lot of development time. So we can deploy our apps to both platforms using a single code base. So it saves a lot of time and resources. So by the way, each path has its own strengths. So So native development offers deeper control and performance. So while cross-platform development provides speed and flexibility. So like uh, so actually choosing the right one depends on the goals. So depending on the goals of the company. So if the uh, like so let's say uh, so uh, so yeah. So choosing the right one depends on the goal and the kind of apps you want to use. So for example in uh, even most of the companies today, like very big companies like Tesla, and some other leading companies, even use cross-platform development, including Uber, to make the development much easier because use you can deploy using a single code base. So next key skills you need. So uh, so to become a mobile developer, you need a solid mix of technical and creative skills. So start by learning programming languages like Kotlin for Android, Swift for iOS, and Dart for Flutter or JavaScript. Then uh, so then dive into UI and UX design. So learning design principles is very important because we the apps we build should be user friendly. So not just functional, but they need to also be user friendly. And we need to understand how users interact with the map, what are the users' attitudes, and uh, what the users expect from our creation. So likewise, we have many things to consider, and uh, we need to make sure that users can easily understand the functionalities of our app and get familiar with it without going through too much technical details. And then for development, you need to work with APIs and databases. So you will need APIs to connect your app to external services and store user data on databases. And then you need to manage, you need to know what Git 10 version control. So managing your code with Git and collaborating with others is very crucial. And you also read debugging and testing skills. Then you may also need a good experience in publishing your app to app stores. So let's go to the next slide. Okay. So these are some of the tools and frameworks that mobile developers use. So Android Studio is the official development environment for Android apps. It provides everything from code editing to testing and debugging tools. Xcode is used by iOS developers to build apps for iPhones and iPads. Then we have cross-platform development tools, uh, which are Flutter and React Native. Uh, Then Figma is a collaborative design tool that helps developers and designers create user interfaces and prototypes. It's useful for planning app layouts and user flows. Then we have Firebase, which offers a suite of backend services like authentication, real-time databases, cloud storage, and hosting. That which helps developers build fully featured apps without managing servers. So once you get comfortable with these tools, you will be able to build complete mobile applications handling both front-end interface and back-end logic. So let's go to the next slide. Okay. Now let's take a look at where this career path can take you. So you can become a mobile app developer specializing in Android, iOS, or cross-platform development. Each path offers unique challenges and opportunities. So, and some developers choose to move into UI and UX design, so focusing on how the app looks and feel, while others dive deeper into mobile architecture, which focuses on designing the structure and scalability of large complex apps. Then you can also work as a backend developer for mobile apps. And you can also work as a freelancer or make work as a build your own startup. So the demand for skilled mobile developers is growing rapidly, and with the increasing usage of smartphone in today. So okay, so next, this go to the next slide. Okay, so mobile app development is one of the most creative, impactful, and rewarding areas in software engineering. So it's a space yeah. So mobile app development is yeah. So start small. So build simple apps like a to-do list app, a calculator app, or weather app. So these projects may seem basic, but they're the building blocks of your journey. So you don't need to be an expert to begin with. Okay. So what matters most is consistency. So keep learning and staying curious is what matters in this field. And the more you build, the more you grow. So every app you create teaches you something new. So keep learning hard and try to build better apps. And I hope you will do you will do a great job in the mobile application field. So that's the end of my presentation. So if you have any questions, you can ask. So for the next part, I'd like to invite Ramita to continue on game development.
So hi guys, I'm Namcharit Samapura. I'll be talking about game development technology. This is my presentation context. And what is game development? Game development is, basically building games. It is the process of designing, creating, and programming interactive digital experience for entertainment. Actually, not just for entertainment, but for education and training aspect. So it combines art, storytelling, programming and sound design to create games for PC, console, and mobile users. So why learn development? So it is growing career opportunity. It has growing career opportunities in the gaming and simulation industry nowadays, and it will develop problem solving, creativity, and teamwork and programming skills, and also ability to bring your own stories, world, and characters to life. And finally, perfect for those passionate about art, coding, design, and storytelling. So about tools and technologies used. Uh, if you decide to do game development technique in our we have portfolio, you'll be learning Unreal Engine by games. So Unreal Engine is a powerful 3D game engine used for developing games. Actually not limited to games, film industry as well. So it supports real-time rendering, physics, and blue-ink scripting, which is games and no code scripting. And Unreal Engine is used popular games like Fortnite, PUBG, and Valorant. And other common tools for designing games is unique for 2D and 3D games. And we can use Maya for 3D modeling. You'll read that too in the game development technology course module. So key stages of game development. We have several stages of game development. First one is concept and storyboarding. It is about planning, basically brainstorming ideas and storyline. And second stage is game design, and it involves defining gameplay, mechanics, characters, and level layouts. Third stage is prototyping, and it is about build a simple playable version of the game using Unreal blueprints. And fourth stage is development, and it involves code, models, animations, and effective game. And next stage is testing. It's about fix bugs, balance gameplay, and polish visuals. Final stage is release. It's about packaging and publishing games to the platforms like PC, mobile, and consoles like this. So how to start? If you want to be a game developer, if you want to create your own game, you can start with Unreal Engine. You can learn the interface and how to use blueprints and how to use tools in Unreal Engine first. And then you can create a simple 3D environment and characters and with objects and everything. So you can add interactions, and you can also experiment with materials, sounds, and effects. And also you can download and build in models into your game. And career paths. In game industry, we have several career paths. Game programmer, level designer, 3D artist, animator, and sound designer, and game tester, QA, asset. So this is about game development technology. And if you have any questions, you can ask now. So if you don't have any question, I will explain it done to the career presentation.
Thank you, Ravitha. Good evening, everyone. My name is Daridhar Ansika, and currently I have selected for project management intern at signup.io, and I'm going to start my internship from next month onward. And please take a look. These are the topics I'm going to cover in my session. Okay, before moving into my session, I would like to do a small activity with you to properly make sure you guys are listening carefully for those sessions. Here's the activity. Activity is really simple. Imagine a group activity, a simple group activity of a presentation you have done in the university. You created a team with 3 or 4 group members, and right after that, what was the first thing you did? After forming the groups, what was the first thing you did? All right, I got an answer. Organize our outline. Identify strengths and weaknesses of team members. Yes, thank you, Tanish, Tamosha, for your lovely answers. So, right after we form a group, the very first thing everyone need to do is appoint a team leader for the group and also come up with a name. Doing a presentation is a really simple task, but why we put a group leader? Because when multiple people working on a project, there must be a some person to overlook the whole process. There must be a some person to maintain the proper communication. There must be a person to ensure the presentation is submitted successfully before the deadline. When it's come to the industry, it is real same. Industry also doing lots of projects annually, and they also need to ensure their project outcome is really successful and end within the budget according to the timeline. Industry need to manage projects, and that called project management. In simple word, project management is making sure a project get done successfully, efficiently, and on time. When it's come to the IT sector, software companies also doing lots of projects annually. They do website development, software development, network setups, cloud migration, and also they do sometimes system updates as well. When they are doing these kind of projects, they also need to ensure they finish the project really successfully. They need to manage their projects, and that we called IT project management. In simple word, IT project management is the process of planning, organizing, overseeing technology related projects to make sure they are completed on time, within budget, and meet the business goals. And the person who managed the project, we call him the project manager. When it's come to the IT field, we call it IT project manager. An IT project manager is like a captain of the team. The captain don't do all the project works alone. They don't do all the codings, designings alone, but they need to ensure all the team members doing their tasks properly. All the team members are aware of what they need to do, when they need to do, and how they need to do. Project manager also need to ensure every project ends successfully within the time according to the planned budget. Here are some main duties of the project manager. Once the company come up with an idea about project idea, they inform the project manager. Then project manager need to create a proper project plan for the project. And project manager need to listen carefully for the stakeholders and identify the exact goals they are looking to success from the project. And also project manager need to create a proper timeline, including the starting date and ending date of the project. Once the project is started, project manager need to properly coordinate the team. The team may be contained with developers, testers, designers, and other people. Project manager need to ensure all of them are working collaboratively and smoothly. And also project manager need to ensure all the clients, stakeholders, project team are up to date about the project progress. Project manager need to properly communicate all of the project related stuffs to all of these parties. And also, when the project started, there might be some unexpected situations. Once those obstacles arise, project manager need to mitigate all of these risks and also come up with ideas to overcome all of these obstacles and ensure project end real successfully. These are the main skills a project manager need. Once when it comes to the IT field, definitely project manager need to have a proper understanding about software development, and also project manager need to have clear communication skills and presentation skills. Project manager need to have planning and organization skills as well. I earlier mentioned project manager is the captain of the team. So project manager need to have good leadership skills. Also, when the team work together, there might be some conflict situations. project manager need to properly address those things. And in order to do that, they need to have conflict management skills as well. In modern world, to ease the project management duty, project managers use some tools and methodologies. Jira and Trello are some project management tools. And when it's come to the project management methodologies, Agile, Scrum, and Kanban are highly famous methodologies in the present world. As a project manager, they need to have hands-on experience of these project management tools and methodologies. Now you might be wondering whether the project management is a suitable position for me or not. If you like project development, if you like software development, but if you don't like sitting in front of a computer all the day coding and designing, and also if you love to work with people, if you love to lead them toward a common goal, and if you have better communication and problem solving skills, project management can be a suitable position for you. Project manager is one of the highly demanded jobs in current world, and also it is hardly replaced by AI jobs. Project manager work with people, so AI can't replace that job easily. And also project managers pay decently. According to the Glassdoor, the average project manager get from 128K to 342K. This salary can be vary according to the qualifications and skills and experience of the project manager. And a senior project manager can earn more than 500K according to their experience. With that, I come to end of my session. If you have any questions, you can ask now. The next career path is data science engineering. I would like to invite Minidu to continue the session. Over to you, Minidu.
Thank you, Dalidu. So, thank you everyone for first joining this TechZeed session. And now I'm going to discuss and give a brief introduction to you guys about data science. So, first let me introduce myself. So, I'm Minidu Avevadana. I'm currently an intern software engineer at GI Solutions Private Limited. So I'm going to walk you through this data science domain. So first let's understand what data science actually means. So data science is all about using data like numbers, facts and information to find patterns and make smart decisions. So for example, in Sri Lanka, let's think about we collect data about rainfall, soil and temperature from tea estates. So we can use that data to predict how much tea will produce in next month. So that is basically called data science. The usage of data to help people and businesses to make better choices. So what does a data scientist actually do? So data scientist is someone who works with data every day. So they collect data from many places like websites, sensors, or surveys, and they clean it because sometimes data can be messy or have some errors in it. So after that, they find patterns or build computer models that can predict future results. So for example, a data scientist in Sri Lanka could build a model to predict when crops will grow based on weather data. And finally, after all of that, they share these findings with others so then they can make better decisions. So the skills that you need to learn for becoming a data scientist. So don't worry, you can learn these skills step by step. So first, you need to learn a bit of programming. So I recommend Python because Python is very good for beginners. And next, we need to understand some basic maths and statistics like averages and probabilities. We need those things to find patterns in data. Okay. So then we need to learn how to show those data to others. So for that, for data visualization, we use tools like Power BI and Matplotlib. Okay. Then After that, we can go to deeper in data science and start learning machine learning. And these machine learning helps computers to make predictions. And also, as a data scientist, we work with data, so we need to finally learn how databases like SQL we store and find data easily. So all you need to do is take one step at a time, and you will get there. Okay, so now let's talk about your future. So once you learn the basics, you can start as a data analyst. So data analyst is a position or someone who kind of studies data and report results. So then after some time, when you work as a data analyst, you can move up to a data scientist or data engineer role preferred by you. So in Sri Lanka, actually, data science is becoming very popular in many areas like agriculture, tourism, healthcare, and banking. So, for example, right now, data scientists in banks helps to find fraud, and they also the data scientists in tourism section help tourism board to understand what kind of tourists visit Sri Lanka. So these jobs are in high demand both here and abroad. You guys are paying high salary compared to some other roles in data science. So if you learn these data skills, you have many opportunities in the future. And let's move on to the next slide. And yes, to the end, I want to say data science is a really interesting field that is growing fast even in Sri Lanka. So you don't have to think and learn everything at once. So start small, maybe analyze simple data set or make a small Excel chart. So most important thing you guys need to do is stay curious and keep learning the new things. So data science is not just about computers. It's about helping people and making the life better of the people. So that's about it for the data science. If you guys have any questions, you guys can ask now. No? Okay. Thank you so much. And next, I would like to invite Hasintaka.
Thank you, Meeru. Hello, everyone, and welcome. Today we are going to talk about a very exciting career path, the AI and machine learning engineer. To get started, I'm going to play a short video. Please watch it.
Machines that think like humans.
Our dream to create machines in our own image that are smart and intelligent goes back to antiquity. Oh, can you bring it to me?
Is it possible that the dream of artificial intelligence has become reality?
They're able to do things that we didn't think they could do.
Go was thought to be a game where machines would never win. The number of choices for every move is enormous.
And now the possibilities seem endless.
And this is going to be one of the greatest boosts to productivity in the history of our species.
That looks like just a hint of some type of smoke.
Identifying problems before a human can.
We taught the model to recognize developing lung cancer.
And inventing new drugs.
I never thought that we would be able to be doing the things we're doing with AI.
But along with the hope,
this is a dangerous time,
comes deep concern.
One of the first drops in the feared flood of AI-created disinformation.
We have lowered barriers to entry to manipulate reality.
We're going to live in a world where we don't know what's real.
The risks are uncertain and potentially enormous.
How powerful is AI? How does it work? And how can we reap its extraordinary benefits?
Civil looked here and anticipated that there would be a problem
without jeopardizing our future. AI Revolution, right now on Nova.
You enjoyed the video. My name is Sasinthan Pemal, and I am currently working as a intern software engineering AI research at WSO2. It's to be here share some experience with you. So this topic will be covered today. Let's start with the basics. What is artificial intelligence or AI? Simply put, AI is when we make machines that can think and learn, almost like humans. You probably use AI every day. When you talk to Amazon Alexa, use ChatGPT, or see the Tesla driving by itself, you are seeing AI in action. So, so how does it work? Uh, it's bit like uh, it's bit like how we learn. AI learn from experience and data. The process has four simple parts. First, you need data. This can be text, images, or numbers. Next, you use an algorithm, which is like set of rules to teach the computer. From this, you create the model, uh, which is like the trained brain. Finally, the AI use this model to make predictions or guess. What is machine learning? Now you have probably heard the term machine learning or ML. Machine learning is a part of AI. It's where the computer learns directly from data without programming every single row. Think about your Gmail spam filter. You don't tell it exactly what spam looks like. It's learned by looking at thousands of emails. When it when Netflix suggests a movie for you, uh, Nielsen recommend a product that's ML at work. This diagram shows how everything fits together. Artificial intelligence, AI. AI is the big overall field. It includes things like robot programming and search algorithms. Inside AI, we form machine learning, which is subset. It is a subset that focuses on learning from data. This is used for things like fraud detection. A smaller part of ML is deep learning. Now it uses complex models for tasks like image recognition, and inside that we have LLMs, large language models like ChatGPT, BERT, uh, which are trained on huge amount of text data. There are many exciting jobs in AI field. An ML engineer builds an ML engineer builds and train the AI models. Data scientists analyze the data and find important insights. And AI research scientists create new AI algorithms, and there are specialized roles too, like NLP engineers for chatbots and computation engineers for image and videos like that. So, so how can you become an AI engineer? Here is a simple roadmap. First, you need to master the basics. A programming language like Python, some math, and data skills. You learn the fundamental of machine learning using tools like skitlearn and Google Colab. After that, uh, after that you can do deep learning and learn about neural networks like CNNs, RNNs, and transformers. After that, you can learn generative AI. After you can learn ML lots, which is how you deploy and manage your models in the real world using tools like Docker and cloud platforms. And finally, you can learn agentic AI, training topics nowadays. Now let's talk about why this is such a great career path. This chart gives you a brief idea of average salaries for different tech roles. This data was collected from a site like Glassdoor and is based on Field Insight and industry trends for 2025. As you can see, AI engineer is projected to be at the very top with average salary of $160,000, and data scientist is right behind him. This shows how much companies are expected to value these skills. This brings us to a common question: will AI take our jobs as software engineers? The answer is no. The future is collaboration, not replacement. AI is very good at tasks like writing code, bugs, but humans are much better at creative problem solving, system designing, and understanding what users really need. We'll be working with AI to do things fast. So to wrap things up, we have seen AI, machine learning, and deep learning are all connected field with the missing potential. We have seen that which is about humans and AI working together. So with all that in mind, I have a quick question for you. Could you please raise hand if you are interested in AI and ML? Please raise hands if you are interested in AI and ML. Okay, thank you guys. That's great to see. For those you have raised your hands, I want to talk specifically to you. I know that in your curriculum, the machine learning module is in the fourth year, but your internship happens in the third year. This creates a gap. This mentoring program is designed to close that gap, giving you the practical skills and project experience you need before your internship. I really encourage you take this opportunity to get hands-on experience, build your confidence, and uh, get ready for an exciting career in AI. That's it. That's in my presentation. Thank you so much for attention. Uh, I'd be happy to answer any question you may have now. If there are no more question, I just want to say thank you again for having me. I would like to invite Nadisha to continue this session.
Okay, good evening everyone. Today I'm going to talk about DevOps and cloud engineering part. First of all, I introduce myself. I'm Nandishan again. Currently working at software engineering internet WSO2. Okay, this is the main outline today me Ali talk about. Okay. The first topic is what is DevOps engineering? DevOps means development and operation working together. In the past, developers build the code and operations teams handle deployment that often cause delays and miscommunication. DevOps brings both sides together. It focuses on teamwork, automation, and faster delivery of software. In short, DevOps engineers make sure that new features and updates reach quickly and safely. Okay, that is the simple idea of DevOps engineering. Next slide. In this slide, I talk about what is cloud engineering. Cloud engineering is about designing and managing systems that run on cloud platforms like AWS, Azure, or Google Cloud. Instead of buying physical servers, we rent computing power and storage from these providers.
Cloud engineers help companies build and maintain these systems. The cloud allows businesses to scale easily, reduce costs, and work from anywhere. That is the simple idea of clouding. We can go to the next slide. In this slide, where we talk about core concepts of DevOps engineering. DevOps has a few key ideas that make it well built. First is continuous integration. That means developers keep merging their code regularly, so problems are found early. The second one is continuous delivery or deployment. That means software is tested and put to production automatically. The third one is infrastructure as code. That means we manage servers and settings using code instead of manual setup. The fourth one is monitoring and feedback. That means tools that keep an eye on how the system performance and help fix issues faster. That is the core concept of DevOps. When we can talk about core concept of clouding. Like in this slide include core concepts of cloud engineering. In cloud engineering, there are some important ideas too. We often talk about IaaS, PaaS, PaaS, that means infrastructure, platform, and software as a service. Cloud engineers use these to build and run applications. They also think about scalability, meaning the system can grow easily when more users use, and they focus on cost efficiency. So companies pay only for what they use. And it's like in this slide, I talk about common tools and technology. In both parts, in both DevOps and cloud engineering, we use many tools. For version control, we use Git and platforms like GitHub or GitLab. For automation and pipelines, tools like Jenkins or GitHub Actions are common. For containers, we use Docker and Kubernetes to package and manage applications. For infrastructure as code, there are Terraform and AWS CloudFormation. Finally, and for monitoring, tools like Prometheus, Grafana, and CloudWatch help track performance. Okay, I think you have some idea about DevOps and cloud engineering. From now, if you have any questions, you can ask right now. If you have not questions, you can wind up this session. And thank you for patience.
Good evening, everyone. I am Tharishilakshani, and today I am going to talk to you about something that plays a huge role in every successful software project: quality assurance, or simply QA. This is today's outline. Now let's start. What is QA? QA is not just about testing. It's about preventing problems before they happen. Think of it like a chef testing the foods before serving it to the customer. The goal isn't just to find what's wrong, but to make sure the final dish, or in our case, the software, is perfect before it reaches the user. QA is the process of ensuring that the software product meets the required quality standards before it is released to the user. Let's move on main areas in QA. We will mainly find two areas that they are manual testing and automation testing. In manual testing, testers explore the system by hand, checking buttons, fonts, and features just like real users do. On the other hand, in automation testing, we use tools like Selenium, Cypress, and Appium to automatically test the application, saving time and reducing human errors. There are also specialized roles like performance testing using JMeter, API testing using Postman or Rest Assured, and security testing. Then let's see what are essential tools for QA engineers to grow in QA. There are some key tools and skills you should focus on. Learn Jira for bug tracking, Postman for API testing, Kelaniya or Cypress for automation, and JMeter for performance testing. And also, understand how GitHub, Jenkins, and CI/CD pipelines work, because QA is now deeply integrated with development and DevOps. But beyond tools, what really matters are your soft skills, attention to detail, communication, teamwork, and curiosity to explore the great things creatively. In QA, there are many exciting career paths to grow into. You can start as a QA intern or trainee, learning the basics of testing. Then move up to a manual tester or become an automation engineer using tools like Kelaniya or Cypress. Some specialize as performance or security tester, ensuring software is speed and stable. And with experience, you can advance to roles like QA analyst, test lead, or even QA manager or test architect, leading entire testing teams and strategies. Now let's talk about earning potentials in QA. In Sri Lanka, a beginner QA earns around 60,000 to 1.2 lakhs rupees per month. And as you gain experience, you can go about 3 lakhs rupees. Global salaries range from $35,000 to over $1 lakh a year, especially if you are skilled in automation and DevOps. Now you have a question: how to get started in QA? To get started in QA, first learn the basics of manual testing like test cases and bug reporting. Then practice tools such as Postman for API testing and Selenium for automation. Try testing open source projects to gain experience and building a portfolio on GitHub or LinkedIn. Keep learning through QA blogs and YouTube tutorials, and if possible, earn certificates. So, if you are someone who enjoys solving problems, finding bugs, and making products better, QA can be a rewarding and creative career path. It's not just about testing, it's about ensuring trust, reliability, and a great experience. Okay, thank you so much for listening to this. I hope this inspires you to see a QA as an exciting and essential part of the tech world. Thank you.
What an insightful session that was. A big thank to all our presenters for helping us understand the different career paths in software engineering and for sharing their experiences and thoughts with us today. To everyone who joined us this evening, thank you for being here and for your enthusiasm throughout the session. Your support truly makes a difference. As we wrap up episode 1 of TechZeed's season 3, let's carry forward the ideas and motivation we have gained today. Stay tuned for the upcoming episodes. This is just the beginning of another exciting season of learning and inspiration. Wishing you all a wonderful evening ahead. And until next time, keep learning and keep growing. Thank you, everyone.